Good morning, everybody. So today is the day I'm going to be applying the POR-15 2K urethane to my Prentiss number 3 vise. Now, I just finished and published the part 1, and this is going to be part 2. And it's been some time since I actually did that video, and you can see two things here. Number one, we're starting to get some flash rust as it was in my garage. And also it's fairly dusty, especially you can see it kind of on this piece from working on all the different wood projects in my garage. So today, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cleaning them up. I got my angle grinder ready to clean up the top rust. As a matter of fact, I even got a little bit area to clean up right here. You can see some shiny spots and some kind of are not anymore. I want to be especially careful around the 3 here to make sure I don't grind that away, because if you recall from the previous video, that was one of 2 only other ways I was able to identify the vise. The other one being all the way right there, although it's upside down in this particular shot. So we are going to it's about 80% humidity out here. I'm going to, after looking at the 2K urethane directions, what is different compared to the regular POR-15 rust prevention, the black paint that you see there, the paint over rust first treatment there, is the original painting required that it be done in under, I forget what it was, I believe it was like less than 80% humidity, but the 2K urethane does not have that restriction. So it's first coat. After you apply the first coat, you can do the second coat in 6 hours, and it is probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. So I want to get that going. I'm hoping that I can do this all in just one coat, because as you can see, I will have to flip these pieces over in all 4 of these cases, probably except for the bolt right there. I'll have to flip them over and do it again. So ideally, I would like to get it all done today. If not, I'll do 2 coats today, and then tomorrow I will do 2 more coats, one on the opposite sides. All right, let's begin.
The feeling's going through. It's always you. 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 It's always you.
So there's a few things that I wanted to cover before we get started. Number one, it was definitely obvious that the most economical way I should have done this was as soon as I finished with putting on the rust preventative POR-15, basically base coat, before I should have immediately went in and applied the 2K urethane that I'm setting up to apply. So POR-15, so I want to talk about one of the things that, at least when I was looking at YouTube videos, one of the reasons why POR-15's 2K urethane was getting 3 stars. And to be honest, this has me a little bit nervous because I'm really not sure how this finish is going to come out. I've seen there's not many videos on there, and like maybe half of them is talking about how POR-15's 2K urethane gets a lot of fish eyes in it, and it makes the finish look bad. So there's 2 options, or there's multiple options that I looked at to possibly correct it. One of it involves basically as soon as you mix it, you let it wait for 30 minutes, and that'll at least get the mixture air bubbles out. Another one is you could go ahead and thin it with some resin thinner or epoxy thinner. And the other one was applying heat. And at least as you can see, when I went to the store this morning, I was planning to do both, but I figured there wouldn't be any benefit to that because maybe I only need one. So I also watch a lot of woodworking videos on YouTube, and it shows them putting in a lot of epoxy and a lot of resin using their projects. And I've only seen them using heat. So you can also use a torch gun. I've seen that too, but since here in SoCal, although we got the San Diego June gloom going on today, we get a lot of sun, so using the sun's power as a renewable resource is how I'm going to go with this heat gun. So I'm going to go ahead and return this, and I'm going ahead and I'm going to accept the risk that If I were to do both, I would probably get perfect results. However, only doing one, I think I'm incurring extra risk. But I still want to give that a go just in case this works. And then that way, everyone who sees this video will know that you can apply POR-15 without thinning it out, using only heat to go ahead and prevent the fish eyes. At least the ones that I saw was very significant. So if I can get out with very minimal to none, then that'll be a win. And then you'll know if you want to go. We'll talk about the finished results once we see what the heat gun does. So we're going to go ahead and move over to where I got my sort of mixing station here. I brought out my little food scale so that I can measure exactly the grams to make sure I got the ratios correctly. And then what we'll do is I'll go ahead and, like I said, I'm gonna apply heat to it, but we'll do a time lapse of watching the bubbles come up. And once the bubbles stop, then we'll go ahead and switch over and start painting. And the POR-15 2K urethane recommends bristle brushes, but I had a lot of success with the foam brushes. So I'm actually going to not listen to the directions in this particular case, and I'm going to use the foam brush just because I have a lot of sort of places I'm trying to get into. And at least, again, bristle brush may work just as good, but these have been working good for me so far, so I'm going to just continue on and go from there. And if anything, you'll learn from my mistakes that the foam brushes are no good, or that the bristle brushes, or that the foam brushes are okay. But we'll go. But you know, to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I think I've done all my preparations, so the time is just to send it. All right, so we're going to be doing a 3-to-1 here with the 3 parts part A and 1 part B. I have my scale here, and also for additional reference, I'll be using the 3-to-1. I'm going to be mixing up 4 ounces to begin with, and just I didn't need that much. It's not a big project, so I think this might be plenty. But we're going to go ahead and start there at least. So let's start the mixing. First we'll take these clips off. Forgot my gloves. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, unfortunate that I had bought a box of gloves just prior to COVID-19 taking off, so I still got quite a few left. But I am starting to get a little low, so I've been taking it easy on them. Okay. And if not obvious, I didn't show it, but I did go with a clear. You can see on here, but let's go and turn on the power. All right, we're 0. We're at grams. So at first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the side marker to go ahead and make sure I'm hitting that 3%. Correction, that 3-to-1. So here's the 3. Okay, I got my 3% down. Got my 3, I should say. So after some quick math, I should be going to about 223. Oh no, the power. All right, well, I tried to do it by the math, but I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and just do it by the look here. Now it's time to mix it up. It says to mix low power for about 5 minutes. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I'll mix it for 5 minutes off camera, and then we'll come back. I can already see the bubbles coming. All right, so I've mixed it for 5 minutes, and you can see all the bubbles in there. Went ahead and went into 2 times zoom so that we can focus on the bubbles, but you can see that if you were just to go ahead and paint this directly on at this point, there are quite a bit of bubbles. So I think the 30-minute wait here is going to be beneficial. Also, lesson learned doing 3-to-1. I should have just did 150 grams, and then that way, if for whatever reason I had to go away and the scale reset, I would know I just needed to add another 50 grams. So lesson learned. We're going to go ahead and We're going to go ahead and go to time lapse here as I apply heat and see if we can maybe get all the bubbles out in under 30 minutes. All right, here we go.
It's always you. I keep falling for you. Keep falling for you. Keep falling for you.
The moment of truth. All right, so it looks like we got quite a bit of the bubbles out. So the game plan here is I'm going to start on the sliding jaw, and then I'm just going to kind of start moving around. I'll probably do just kind of start going around here and then end up over here at the foundation. You're going to have this camera view as I apply the 2K urethane. However, when we get to the heat gun, I'll try to get some close-in shots when I'm using the heat gun to see if number one, to see if it's even necessary, and number two, to see if it works. All right, let's go.
Why do I keep feeling this pain? It's like I'm going for insane. It's nothing left to say. It is time, let it be. Away from me, away from me. It's always you. 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 Keep falling for you. Keep falling for you. Keep falling for you.
Okay, so it's about 4 hours later right now, so I'm about another 2 hours before getting ready to either apply a second coat, or I'm going to turn it over and do the backside. And I kind of want to see what's going on here first to see if a second coat is necessary. So I'm also looking for some fish eyes, and there definitely are some little bit of bubbling going on. But to be honest, compared to how maybe if it was on a completely smooth surface, it might be a big deal. So yeah, and I put this on a little bit thick. Let me see if it's a little bit better anywhere. But here there definitely are. It's very small, not too noticeable unless you get really up on it, because the material that I'm working with already has some grooves and everything in it. I'm definitely going to want to maybe hit this area up with the second coat, just because in some areas it's a little uneven. Maybe I shouldn't have brushed over it enough, but it was uneven. At least during the day, earlier in the day when it was overcast, I just couldn't see that, but now I can definitely see where it's a little heavier here, a little lighter here. So I'll probably come over actually only this section and do another coat. Everything else I'm okay with. Definitely seeing some areas down around the bottom that I'm going to have to get at, but I can do that when I just turn it over too. All right. So a little bit of touch up on that one. Looks like we had some. Not sure how. It looks like some came around to the other side and got onto here. So hopefully that when I put some on the top, I can kind of make it so it all is glossy and looks just like the top. If not, that'll kind of suck. Just a little heavy right there where it kind of pulled up. But all in all, this looks pretty good. Yeah, this piece is done once it dries. On the bare metal, I can't see any fish eyes. You know, the bare metal looks like it came out pretty good. Definitely still needs to dry a little bit. I'm gonna have to do another coat on the side, at least on this side. So what I'm thinking is, if the top is good, I'll just turn it over and do the second coat when I do the bottom too. Yep, so the top part of the slide looks good. So I will do another coat on the side part of the slide, and then we'll go from there. But not too bad for my first time, actually. I'm pretty impressed. So this is my anxiety that I had early on when I first started this is turning out to be alleviated as I look at this. Oh, and it looks like as I kind of was doing the 2K urethane, some of it kind of came down here. Let me see if I can, oh, good thing is I can remove it, no problem. Still. So, removing this little excess that has come down here. And although I do intend to put some lubricant on this area, I still am going to go over it with the 2K urethane just to see, just to give it that added protection, again, since it is such an old vise. So I think in general I should be, but yeah, finishing the thought there, since it's an old vise, I think I'm going to do just for the preventative maintenance. I'm going to go ahead and put the 2K urethane on everything. But there are some touch-ups that I need to do on some of these pieces. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bottom side where I can do kind of the touch-ups all in the same coat. I'm going to attempt to do that. And if not, then maybe tomorrow morning what I'll do is first thing in the morning I'll apply the new coat. Shouldn't need that much. Just mix up a new batch, do the next coat, and then yeah, then it'll be ready. So by tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, I should be able to start putting this thing together. All right, I'll see you at the next step when I go ahead and mix up the batch.